everyone, I'm Liz.
I'm Cody.
And welcome to the preview of Unit 2, Right Turn. So back in March, there was an election for the president of Korea, or South Korea, and the candidate, Yoon Suk-yeol from the People's Power Party, narrowly defeated the Democratic Party candidate, Lee Jae-myung. And it was a very tight race, in particular because a lot of people didn't really like either one. So it was a matter of choosing between the lesser of two evils. And so one of the big issues during the election was which candidate was more anti-feminist, which would normally, be kind of a bad thing, but it was seen as a selling point by some people, particularly a lot of young men who are kind of resentful of having to do military service, whereas females do not.
The lesser of two evils.
The lesser of two evils.
Selling point.
Selling point.
So they don't really feel like women are at any disadvantage these days in Korean society. So many of them flocked to Yoon Suk-yeol, who was seen as kind of the more anti-feminist candidate. On the other hand, a lot of women didn't like the Lee Jae-myung, because even though he might have been seen as slightly more feminist, he didn't have a great track record towards women. So he was recorded verbally abusing a female family member, and he also defended his nephew as a lawyer, and his nephew was accused of killing his girlfriend, I believe, and a family member. So they didn't really like him for that reason. So a lot of women sort of flocked to third-party candidates, or decided not to vote, or voted for Yoon as a kind of protest vote against Lee Jae-myung. So it was kind of a messy election, and really close down to the wire in the end. But what did you think of this year's presidential election?
I hadn't followed it too closely, honestly. But I from time to time, I try to discuss it, with my wife and seeing, what she was thinking. We would talk about certain news. I would express my displeasure, and she would, express hers as well. She still won't tell me who she voted for, and that's okay. She's very strict on not revealing that,
talking about
until some time later.
Okay.
Yeah.
See how it turns out, and then
like, oh yeah, I voted for him, or oh no, I didn't vote for him. I guess it's that way. I don't know. And I don't mind per se, because we have very friendly talks in politics. But I do understand people's hesitancy, even among family, especially family.
Especially family.
So I think in her family, among her, mother and her siblings, she talks with her sister a lot about the politics, but not her mom. So I guess there's a little bit of tension.
Maybe some disagreement.
Maybe this year as well. I did witness one moment where she got a phone call from her mom, and I could just see her face change, and I can kind of hear that the mom's mentioning some of these politicians' names, and then suddenly my wife was just basically like, "Mom, why are you telling me who to vote for?" Very suddenly. So I guess there was some of that pressure. But what have you seen or heard about this year's past election?
I also didn't follow it very closely. Not being able to vote, I didn't really have to make a decision.
True.
But I kind of knew a little bit about the candidates, and I'd heard about, the anti-feminism thing and the various accusations against the other candidate. And my husband and I talked about it, and he also really didn't like any of the candidates. He told me who we voted for, which I won't reveal here. It was messy, and there wasn't really a great candidate, even in the third-party candidates.
Third-party candidate.
Third-party candidate.
Well, admittedly, it's a shame that we don't hear more about the third-party candidates, because there might be someone who would have been better.
Right. This one in Korea kind of reminded me of 2020 America. It was equally
it was very
messy,
much
I think.
Like 2020
Truly
America.
lesser of the two evils.
And 2016 America, too.
Yeah.
2016 was really like the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. So
And who knows whether that worked out in the end.
we'll have to wait and see.
We'll see how it works for Korea. Starting May 9th, the new president will take office. So I guess by the time the video comes out, maybe we'll have a better idea.
We'll see.
And now for the language focus. The first point is not know any better. So for example, as foreigners in Korea, it's really important to understand the immigration laws because the authorities won't take "I didn't know any better" as an excuse.
You really have to know the ins and outs.
Deadlines and all that, it's crazy.
Everything. All right. Now for the second one, I guess I could use it here as well, but I'm not. Second one is be expected to. So for my example, in the rural US, usually they're expected to be more conservative, but some states might surprise you.
It's generally true, but sometimes.
Right.
Okay, and that's all for the preview of Unit 2, Right Turn. We'll see you in the review.